But let's come back here at home. Let's talk about the city of Charlotte. So I just want to give a plug because this is a great show. It's a really good show covering all things politics. Flashpoint, Sunday mornings, 11. You don't want to miss it. I got it right. Covering all things politics. Julie Kay joins us now. We were talking about this interview. City Council member Dante Anderson.
Yeah.
Extensive interview, covered a lot within that 30-minute episode.
Yeah, and there's a lot going on. So
where do you want to start? Public safety?
Let's start there, because that was the reason she initially came in, because she chairs the Public Safety Committee, which meets Monday. Big thing that they're going to talk about is the red light cameras. I know we've done a few stories on that. Miles Harris has done a couple stories on that. Bringing it back, the program ended in 2006. There have been a couple of reasons. The main thing that is funding. There was a state law that basically said majority of the revenue from this doesn't go back to the city. It needs to go to these schools. But that also includes like the operating costs. Like they can't pay for the operating costs of the program. Became financially unsustainable. And they are trying to bring that back. The goal, of course, to minimize traffic fatalities, serious injuries, any accidents in general. There's still a couple of hurdles that they need to get through, but we got an update on, just the process. Monday, they'll be kind of going through, the big questions of, how do we fund it? How much is it going to cost? And which 10 intersections should we pick? I mean, you could probably pick, a gazillion over the city that you think. But, we're really only talking about 10 intersections here that they'd add this to. Of course, they're going to probably pick the big ones. But there's more than 10 big ones, you could probably argue. So, and they're doing a study on that to see which ones would be most impactful to have this. And so that is the big, most timely news. But my goodness, Nick, there's so much going on that we just held her hostage in here for like 30 minutes and just kept asking questions.
And this is a lot. We talked about water restrictions and our drought situation. Miles Harris, give him another plug.
I know, poor Miles.
He's covering drought conditions. He's in Union County, also covering Mecklenburg County. What was she able to tell you about that?
Well, so right now in Charlotte, it is recommended to limit your water usage, but we asked her, is it possible that becomes mandatory if this drought continues? Parts of Mecklenburg County are in exceptional drought, as we learned today, and I know Miles will be talking about a lot later. And she said, it's unfortunate, but it is a real possibility at this point. So nothing in the works at this point that she's aware of, but she did acknowledge that that's definitely a possibility in the coming days, coming weeks, if it doesn't get much better. We've heard our meteorologists say it again and again. It takes months to undo a drought of this level, and so it'll definitely be something we keep kind of checking back in on with council members when we speak to them. Another big thing when we talk about, resources, data centers.
A big story, a hot topic.
Big story. So Monday, they had a bit of a last-minute vote on a public hearing on a moratorium for data centers. It became tied, so Mayor Vilas broke the tie in, against having a public hearing on these moratoriums, or a public hearing on these data center moratoriums. They are still considering restrictions for data centers, keeping them away from residential areas, making sure they have to have a closed loop energy and water system so that they're not taking resources from the community. I know people are concerned about their energy bills going up, especially on top of Duke Energy already requesting a rate hike. And so she said that conversation is still happening. That doesn't mean that data centers can't keep trying to get them in now before those restrictions are put in place, because that might take a while to get those actually put in there, and it's hard to retroactively do that. So there are still some concerns moving forward, especially because there's not going to be the moratorium that some council members suggested to pause all production of data centers until they figure out their standards. And so still controversial, but interesting to know that is still happening behind the scenes, that they're still having those conversations about standards, and we can expect that in the next couple of months.
A conversation that's happening in cities and counties.
They popped up so fast.
Yeah. It's
almost hard to keep up.
Yeah, and it ties back into the drought. I know we're not going to explore that part of it.
It's like,
it all
connects.
Yeah, just goes everywhere.
Yeah.
All right, Julie, when can we catch the Flashpoint preview this evening?
5:30 today, and I'll focus mainly on public safety stuff.
All right. And don't forget to watch Flashpoint Sunday mornings at 11.
Yes.
Sunday mornings at 11.
Thank you, Nick.
And it was a great show. Ben Thompson's also on that show.
Shout out, Ben.
Shout out Ben, shout out Julie, covering all things politics. Julie, thank you for your time.
Thank you.
All right.